unbelievable as we look at the full-time stats.
Game of two halves. You look at the field goal percentage. Look at all those extra shots New Zealand Breakers got. Nearly 24 extra shots. Neither team shot well from the three-point line. This game was all about heart and resilience by the Brisbane Bullets. They could have laid down 18 at the half. It was out to 21 at one stage in the third quarter, but those guys kept fighting back, and they made a focal point to go inside to Tyrell Harrison, and their fortunes changed as a result.
If you've followed the NBL, you know Lamar Patterson's name. He's hung around Queensland after his stint with the Bullets, an injury replacement player when Javon Freeman-Liberty left this group. And boy, he's earned every single dollar he's getting paid tonight.
Skill was never an issue with this man. Lamar Patterson was in the league with second-team All-NBL, if I'm not mistaken. 20 points and 6 rebounds tonight. He's a point forward. He can make plays. He can put the ball on the floor. Look at this. I mean, the guy's a professional, like a professional scorer and a great basketball player, and I say that with the most respect. He comes up with the game-winning shot, and then Tyrell Harrison defended the game-winning shot. So he took advantage of some mismatches out there. It's good to see him come back and make a statement.
Before we touch on those massive final defensive possessions from the Bullets, Lamar Patterson, an injury replacement player, he can play anywhere else in the league. There will be teams watching this performance knowing that they're going to either let go of an import soon or they're going to be able to have space available. I would not be shocked if we see Lamar Patterson with another group for a long period of time.
He should be. He should be in the league. And, like, it's full credit to himself. He got himself back into playing shape. And now he hung around. He's going to be an Australian citizen hopefully pretty soon, which also could change the whole landscape of his career. So at this stage, he is a very valuable player, and teams need to have a look at him.
Murray as well. Such a name to watch. That defensive possession on Darling, that was the game right there. There was heroics after that. But the game was won with that defensive possession, that block on Max Darling.
Tony Murray's is flown under the radar. Now, you look at the start of the season, right? You guys, Mitch Norton gets hurt. Sam McDaniel gets hurt. In the whole scheme of things, Tony might not have played that much. But as a result of all these bodies going down, here he is, and he's playing, he's balling out.
Hey, don't go anywhere, though, because Sydney and South East Melbourne Phoenix from John Cain Arena, not far away. Angus Glover, well, he was on fire in a dominant performance against your Illawarra Hawks. Boy, where were they, Damon Lowry? The South East Melbourne Phoenix, they told me they do it on the defensive end, and they come out and whack 1,000 points on them.
That was last week. Let's see what happens this week.
The Sydney Kings, of course, Kendrick Davis, he is worth the price of admission no matter what you do. The Brisbane Bullets, they're without their best defensive player, without arguably their best defensive player, which was Javon Freeman-Liberty. They're with a first-year head coach. Most importantly, out of everything that they do, they fight no matter what. They've started to find themselves a little bit. Where do you see this season playing out for them?
Hey, look, anything can happen. Like that, it's a log jam between 3 and, say, 7, 8 teams. And they also got their heart and soul Mitch Norton out of the game. They benched their leading point guard and former MVP Jaden Adams and start the 20-year-old. They're not supposed to be winning with all that, with all those little storylines. But the way they are competitive every single game, they give themselves a chance. It's great to see.
That Jalen Adams is one to watch as well. You mentioned having a guy like that coming off the bench. Is there more to that story? Maybe more will come out. But Damon Lowry, you've been fantastic. Remember, it is a doubleheader. South East Melbourne and the Sydney Kings getting ready to go head-to-head. To recap this one, though, what a comeback from the Brisbane Bullets. Down 18 at the half. Don't worry about it. They got the ball inside of the second half and they were dominant, and they got a much-needed road win. But now it's time for the Sydney Kings and South East Melbourne to go head-to-head. Superstars everywhere.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Great ball movement. Swings to Glover. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. It's a barrage. It's an avalanche.
And it's about to get a whole lot better.
It's a typhoon.
And here's Angus Glover.
It's down. On fire. Come on, Glove. Wow.
Davis nails the triple.
He's so quick, Brass, with a tremendous ability to stop and go.
He's stripped of the ball. Super efficient today, Kendrick Davis. They're off and running again. The fans out of their seats and applauding the Sydney Kings.
Hello and welcome to Thursday Night Hoops in the Fire Pit. It's Indigenous round here in the Hungry Jacks NBL, and tonight it's a statement game. Two teams both chasing consistency, both keen to prove that they belong among the contenders. It's the Phoenix and the Kings, and while they've each shown some flashes of brilliance in the early parts of NBL26, who reigns supreme tonight, and can Angus Glover continue his red-hot form against his former team? As you can see there, the Mitsubishi ladder, both teams have 3 wins and both looking to add more to that. I'm Kelsey Brown, joined by 2 legends of the league, Andrew Gaze and Derek Rucker. Ruck, when I saw this matchup, I was excited.
Yeah, well, Kelsey, it's 2 teams trying to find their identity, and does that identity lead to sustained success throughout the season? We know both like to be strong on the defensive end, but this is a terrific early season matchup.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. You saw on that ladder. Who would have thought that they'd be in 3rd place right now, Phoenix, with some of the results that we've seen, and we're going to have some illustrations of just how the highs have been really high, but the lows have been really low. And you say the same thing about the Sydney Kings, and of course, we've got the Brian Goorjian comeback game. First time in 26,000 games that he got ejected, and we're looking forward to see how emotionally charged that incident would have had on for the Kings.
Well, Josh King is a very emotional guy as well, so I'm curious on your point to see how the referees handle this game. But look at the average margin of victory for both of these teams. 27.6 and 22.6. What? And what about when they lose? When they lose, it really falls apart. But Kelsey, I can't see a margin of victory like this. This is going to be a tight matchup.
Yes, I asked you before if you thought it was going to be under 10, and you said you think it would. But Gazy, I have to ask you about this Kings backcourt. 3-point percentage is not good. It's what you would call pox. What do you think needs to happen for these guys to turn this one around?
Well, it's highly underwhelming in general, but specifically for the Sydney Kings. These 2 guys here have combined for 8 from 44 from the 3-point line.
Ouch.
Now, when they recruited them, they knew they weren't getting Steph Curry in any of those, or they weren't getting a Chris Golding or an Angus Glover. That's not their main go-to. But they were expecting to be better than 22% and 11%. Well, let's round them up, 12%. But it's the combination of those 2, and also when you've got those 2 and Xavier Cooks on the floor, you just don't have the 3-point threats that many other teams in the way the game's been played throughout the world these days.
And Rucker, you told me off air that when your shooting percentage got close to the 30s from the 3-point line, you were worried.
Oh, yeah.
How do you go feeling 11% there for Matthew Dellavedova?
That's a terrible feeling. No shooter wants to experience that. You start getting in your head. You start practicing a little bit more. But what you actually need, Drew, is in-game success. And it can turn around quickly, Kels.
The exciting thing for Southeast Melbourne Phoenix is they welcome Wezawandu into the lineup. He's a new import, Nigerian-born. He comes in with experience. What are you hoping to see from Wes?
Well, he's in line with all the other Josh King proteges, guys that like to defend. He's long, he's athletic. He spent extensive time in the NBA. This isn't just some import they picked up off the scrap heap, Andrew. He's a legitimate hooper, excellent athleticism, and of course, he's going to provide defensive punch. And for this Phoenix team to get better on the offensive end, they need to continue to do a good job of turning defensive stops invest in the easy opportunities on the offensive end.
Well, that's right, and fortunately they've got some time. At 3-2, they've only played the 5 games so far. But what you can see here is a guy that can score. His technique is not terrible from the three-point line. In fact, there are some things I like about the way he shoots the ball. He's bouncy, but most importantly, super athletic. And the way Josh King is playing this season, it's full court defense. It's get in the lane. It's all sorts of ball pressure. And he brings that type of spunk to the game.
Well, let's get you guys to the commentary box and let's get over to our 4th member of commentary. Always a pleasure to welcome him in, Jack Heverin.
Oh, thank you very much, Kelsey Brown. Geez, Andrew Gaze I think he's had too much chocolate before the game. He is absolutely fired up for this one, and so are we. Nathan Sobio and Foxwell, Malik Lewis, John Brown III, and Jordan Hunt are the same starting 5 for every game this season for the South East Melbourne Phoenix, and for the Kings, Jalen Galloway, Matthew Dellavedova, Kendrick Davis, Xavier Cooks, and former championship winner Tim Suarez for Thursday Night Hoops. If you missed what happened earlier tonight in New Zealand, one of the most extraordinary comebacks you'll see from the Brisbane Bullets. And tonight, 2 teams, similar positions, both searching for identities in the early part of NBL 26. We'll tell you a little bit about both of their Indigenous jerseys across the night.
Well, I actually think, Jack, that the Phoenix do have an identity. They have it on the defensive end. They're up and in, lead the league in assists, and Kendrick Davis gets things underway for the Sydney Kings.
Well, Kendrick goes right at that identity in transition, gets an easy little floater to drop. But Jack, you're right. Who is going to establish some identity in this early season matchup of teams that would have come into this season expecting a deep playoff run?
It comes at a time, we saw the Mitsubishi Motors ladder. Southeast Melbourne 3-2, Sydney 3-3. We're going to learn a lot about both of these teams across the night. It's an ample fixture for Thursday Hoops. Nathan Sobey, 21 points last weekend in their pounding of the Illawarra Hawks. He set the tone early, and he's got a bucket early in this one.
He has got the ultra green light. He always has throughout his career, but even tonight, quick start, couple of shots. He's shooting it okay, 41% overall from the field. And as you mentioned, 18 points a game. They are quality numbers.
Let's take from Galloway.
And as you saw with the identity of the Phoenix they're up and in. They want to really put some pressure in the backcourt. To me, the Kings and what they've tried to do is recognise they don't have the shooting. They are pounding the pavement into the paint every time in that half court, and we've already seen it here. They want to get 2 feet in the paint and make decisions from there.
They do, and on the other end, the Phoenix, they make more threes per game than any other team in the NBL, right around the 12 to 13 mark. They'll play fast based on defensive stops and trying to get out and use their very agile lineup.
Foxwell starting again. It's been a move that's been fantastic for him. It's been good for the Phoenix as well. Sobey, pure.
Getting it in early. A lot of good looks for Sobey.
Proactive start. And the Phoenix lead by 3. Suarez left open. He can hurt you from that spot.
He's excellent, and he's having an unheralded season publicly, but you look at the numbers, Derek, and he has been really good for the Sydney Kings, particularly on the offensive end.
I agree, and one could make the argument that he's been consistently their best player so far this season.
He's athletic too, the Brazilian, but he fumbles that. Turnover for the Kings. Phoenix with numbers up ahead. Foxwell. No good on his 3 ball.
This is... Phoenix are playing as if they have an 8-second shot clock.
Davis lays it up.
And sometimes when you play that way, they're the type of opportunities you're going to give up from time to time.
So are you okay with that then, in that case?
You live with it. There's certain things you're going to live with when you want to play at such quick pace. It really puts enormous pressure on your defensive transition when you're shooting the ball that quickly.
Galloway steps into his 3. Shooting it with confidence this season. Jalen Galloway.
See the improvement in the technique, and sometimes he's really being a bit more risky with his shot selection, but I guess to take his game to the next level, that's part of it.
Shot clock at 7. John Brown lives in the mid-range. Shooting it at 46% for the season.
And Andrew, these are supposed to be two of the better defensive teams with esteemed defensive coaches, but right now, shots are coming pretty easily.
Davis off balance, created some space. He's got so many tricks.
Well, they're coming quickly. Only had the one foul call. It's been up and down.
Kings are 5 of 6 from the field, and Sobey's not holding back, Jack.
Not sure why you go under on the screen on Sobey.
It's twice they've done that now.
Well, Sobey off to a quick start, 3 of 4 as Dellavedova blows a bunny.
Matthew Dellavedova is having enough trouble with the 3 ball. That was a gift. And he gets a gift back in return from Owen Foxwell. It's Galloway in rhythm. End-to-end stuff here at John Cain Arena.
Good luck scouting the half-court sets of either of these teams, the way we're playing. Oh, my goodness. Nathan Sobey has come out, and every time he touches the ball, his first, second, and third priority is shoot.
He's got 10 points early on. Xavier Cooks will be on the free throw line, but 10 points in 4.5 minutes. Nathan Sobey has come out to prove a point.
2 of 3 from deep, and we look at the Amy replay. Again, Andrew, you're very dissatisfied. That's not even a screen, it's a little rub action, and it forces Suarez to dip, but now you got to make the adjustment. Once Sobey gets it going like this, you can't expect him to slow down or stop himself.
Well, particularly he's done it on no slouch either. Now, I know there's some switching and a defensive transition, you get caught out of position, but Matthew Dellavedova, he's gone to the bench as they make a change. And Brian, I've very much subbing by the clock the last couple of games with Dellavedova.
Well, this is the first key sub where they allowed Kendrick now to run the point with Sean Bruce kind of playing the 2. And let's see how they go without Dellavedova on the court in this stint.
Ketchelier found some space. A defensive breakdown from the Kings. There's been a couple of those. Phoenix by 2. Now shooting the ball well to start this one. 63% from the field. Both teams are around that mark. Malik Lewis with the task of trying to stop one of the league's best scorers. Davis stepping back. He can't score. Offensive rebound, Kings. Kawhi Noy. That rattles out as well. Nathan Sobey with ball in hand is on a mission. Just misses out.
Well, Andrew, this is just a professional pickup game.
It is. That's exactly right.
Ketchelier with the rebound. Missed the first couple of games of the Phoenix season for personal reasons. And finally, we get a stoppage in this game. Kelsey Brown, courtside.
Yeah, I want to talk about the three-point percentage that we spoke about at the top. I asked Brian Goorjian if he was concerned about KD and Daly and how they'd been going about it, and he said, I'm not worried about it at all. I know if we can control the controllables and take care of the defensive end, those things will come. And as we've seen, both teams shooting the lights out.
Well, that's true, Kelsey. Aaliyah misses from deep, but right now, Andrew, across the league, the three-point shooting hasn't been great, so you're not really falling behind the curve, so to speak, if you're going through a little bit of a flat spot shooting the ball from deep. Now, that may change.
It's Goodrick on the floor for the Sydney Kings. Just his 6th NBL game. Smart from Kawhi Noy.
And early minutes, as you mentioned, for Goodrick, who, in the minutes that when he has come on, he has shown that he belongs. And it takes a little while for teams to figure someone out and get a good look at him.
Well, he starts with a good baseline of just playing hard.
Yeah, and good athleticism, good size, and certainly has not lacked confidence when he's come in. He hasn't looked like he's been intimidated by the circumstances.
Well, if he's ever going to be intimidated, it's right now in his matchup with John Brown III. This will be a very good matchup to keep your eyes on. An experienced professional, a seasoned, tough guy against Goodrick.
Look at those beautiful Reeboks of Kuat Noise. What a shoe. Glover, Maldonado, Aaliyah, Brown III, and Sobey out there for the Phoenix. Davis, Goodrick, Bruce, Noy, and Qual for the Sydney Kings. So we talk about this a lot in this league, about when guys get hot, they get subbed out. Now, at the moment, Josh King leaving Nathan Sobey in the game, but how do you make sure, Derek and Drewy, that he's getting enough of the basketball while he's feeling like this?
Well, there hasn't been a lot of system in play at the moment. Now they get into a half-court set.
Hunter rolls to the cup against his former team.
But the key is to get stops, because that's where Nathan's most dangerous in transition.
Noy aggressive. He'll be shooting free throws again.
Well, you say Kuat Noy being aggressive, everyone's being aggressive.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's by design. In Sydney, everyone's got a license to get your head down, find your way into the paint, and Iwandu getting ready to see his first minutes, and he takes out that hot hand in Nathan Sobey. And Coach
Forget
King,
that last point then.
No, but it's still valid relative to how they play. You know, he's averaging 27 minutes a game, Sobes, and I think their substitution is a lot more necessary than some, because they're playing so high on the defensive end.
Yeah.
It's really high energy, particularly against a team like Sydney that test you in a one-on-one situation virtually every time down the floor as far as the penetration.
He'll be a familiar face to a lot of basketball fans. Where's Iwandu? 226 NBA games, a starter for about 80 of them. But he's legit.
Oh.
We watched him in the pre-game, barely missed from deep. He's going to have to try and invent something here.
Now, Jack, we spoke to Josh King before the game, and he admitted there will be some game rust. He doesn't expect Iwandu to be able to come in here and just drop 30.
Hasn't played since May at any professional level. Davis flashes and then swings to Bull Qual, who misses everything.
Just had too much time, Bull Qual.
And Iwandu comes up short. The pace of this game continues to be frenetic.
I thought that was a good call. Hunter hugged him from behind, held him, as the Kings will make wholesale changes. 4 on, 4 off.
Now that is highly unusual in an NBL game. Let's take a look at the replay. There's the no call, which is 100% correct. He just...
Watch Hunter here. Handsy.
Here.
Foul.
You just can't do that.
That's a tackle.
Don't know why he would be complaining about that call.
Dellavedova trying to back in on Maldonado, who does well to hold his ground.
Like travel.
I agree with you, Andrew. I thought he switched his pivot foot. But that was a lot of physical contact between Dellavedova and Maldonado. Delly going to the game he likes best when his jumper's not going. Bully ball right there. He shifts that right. Oh, that's a travel. Got away with one.
Hunter Maldonado is another one that's still trying to find his way in this league. Only shooting at 28%, 21% from threes. The expectations would be far higher than that, and his role he's got to play with his team.
Yeah, he's accumulated some stats, but he is doing a good job of that right there, distributing the basketball.
Nick Lewis, no good. Phoenix coming off a huge win last weekend. 40 points they beat the defending champions by. Here's Dellavedova, whose three-point woes continue, is just 11% for the season from deep. He started the season 0 on 12. It's only in the last 2 games that he has a three-point make next to his name. Brown the third. scoring all of a sudden has become a bit difficult for both teams.
And Andrew, on that point that Jack just made, as Cooks goes to work, draws an offensive foul. But Drew, going through this type of shooting slump that we see Dellavedova in the midst of.
Oh, Brian Gorge is going to challenge.
How do you work your way out of that?
Yeah, it's hard because he's getting some wide open looks. And I think it's more what's going on between his ears, just trying to find a way in the practice environment to get some confidence back. And just try to think of one thing only with your shot. Don't confuse yourself with a lot of the variables. And have a look at this coach's challenge here. Yeah, it's the elbow to the head that the officials saw.
So, Jack, if we go back to the play in Tasmania where Magnay gets called for the elbow to the head, are we going to wind up in that situation again? Because this isn't intentional.
Well, if you're using that as a bit of a basis for this one, then yes, I would say.
I don't think there's really much prospect of winning this challenge. I just don't see how you can win that challenge. He elbowed him to the head.
Yep.
And
the challenge is unsuccessful. Scott Butler in the replay centre can talk us through this one, Scott.
Instructive here. You see Cooks elevate for the shot, extends his right elbow into the head of Glover. That's the offensive foul. We'll stay off the call on the floor.
Thank you very much.
Really clear cut.
Yeah.
To a point where
Are you surprised they challenged
Yeah.
it?
Now, maybe that was just Brian seeing it and maybe not quite having the angle and not checking with his video guy, because he's not happy, though.
He's having words with himself. What I'm curious in, Jack, is at what point does the elbow to the head become an unsportsmanlike?
Yeah, well, that almost feels like the next step from there, doesn't it? Here's a Wundu. Welcome to the Phoenix. Bottom of the net.
Well, Andrew, we watched him shoot from that exact same spot in warm-ups, and we both like the stroke, and we're kind of surprised that he doesn't shoot it better on a regular basis.
Well, the last two stops he's had in Greece and in Germany, mid-30s.
Showing signs of improvement.
And if you get it, the extension and the follow-through is really good. He goes to the left side of his face a little bit too much for my liking, but it's not terrible by any stretch.
Is Glover attracting a lot more attention after his night last weekend? Career high from him. Lewis unselfishly for Brown, who got a push in the back.
Nice pass from Lewis.
And it's interesting, Josh King there saying to Malik Lewis, nice pass, but next time, shoot that.
Well, Josh King may have one eye on the future for Malik Lewis, knowing that's one of the areas that the big dogs, the NBA scouts, want to see improvement with. As John Brown clanks the first one off the back of the rim.
Well, the end, what has to happen, though, eventually you're going to have to find minutes for a Wundu. And where do they come from? And Lewis is at 24 minutes a game or thereabouts. You know, might be a little bit from here, little bits and pieces that you see, but you still got to, they're expecting you, if you're bringing an import of this quality, he's expected to play that 25 minutes.
But this is where the signing of John Brown III may be valuable, because they can do what they're doing right now. Small ball five with him as Malawach misses a three.
Bullquall gets after it. The reset through Dellavedova. Forces his way in. He just can't score right now. What a pass for Glover in transition.
That's their identity. They were fortunate to get a missed layup from Dellavedova, but they penalized the Kings by getting out and running. Good pass ahead to Glover.
They scored the last six, the Phoenix. A good run to quarter time. Clock expiring for the Kings. Dellavedova blocked by Lewis. The Phoenix take momentum into quarter time at the fire pit. 22-20 on Thursday night hoops. Their offensive quality on full show to finish off the quarter. Kendrick Davis proving hard to stop. This is going to be a whole lot of fun here in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
Welcome back to the Hungry Jacks NBL. It's Indigenous round, and what an amazing performance we saw pre-game to welcome us into this special one. 22 for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, plays 20 for the Kings. And I listened in to Brian Goorjian. He said, I love the way we are playing. Let's get it from side to side a little bit more. But this game suits us the way we are playing at the moment. It's a long game and it suits us.
Kelsey Brown, courtside tonight. Andrew Gaze, Derek Rucker in commentary. It's the Phoenix by 2 as we start the second term. We celebrate Indigenous round. Across the next couple of weeks here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Dellavedova desperately needed that.
And really good set coming out to start this second quarter. They get it, 3 or 4 passes, and that was some old Andre Lamanis boomer stuff that they were running. So perhaps the big fella, Andrew Bogut, implementing some of the stuff as no matter what you do on the offensive end, if Foxwell is going to walk into the game the key way and make those types of shots, it's going to be a long night.
Sydney have to find a way to get Xavier Cooks involved in the game. He had 0 shot attempts in that first quarter.
Amazing to think that one of the highest paid players in the league is struggling to get usage right now. Dellavedova scores. Josh King standing next to us, unhappy. Nathan Sobey, who was hot early in this game, subbed out. Still determined to keep that going. Nice hands too. Knocked it to the advantage of Foxwell. Cooks gets his money's worth on the foul, and that's 2.
That's what would be frustrating Brian Goorjian. They come up with the ball. You just need a higher level of urgency to secure that thing because they got the stop. And then just carelessness gives it right back to Phoenix. Good on the Phoenix for the ball pressure, but you've got to be able to do better than that.
Well, the Phoenix do a good job of 2 things, Andrew. Offensive rebounding and creating turnovers. And that situation there was a little bit of both. But the end result was that they clean it up and get to the free throw line.
Foxwell averaging 9 points, 3 assists a game. Relishing this opportunity to start. Foster at the scorer's table. They need to check in for the Phoenix. They lead by 2 under the Sydney Kings. Earlier tonight it was Brisbane. Winners by 1 point in New Zealand over the Breakers. A game that is going to be pulled apart in so many different ways. Suarez was caught on the arm by Foxwell. That'll be 2.
Well, they were 22 points down in that game. Might have been more. We were getting ready for this one, but we were watching it and we thought, oh, here we go, another blowout coming up. And wow, that was a gutsy effort by the Brisbane Bullets.
Well, Casey Prather continues to star, and just a real rock up there, especially on the offensive end. Jalen Adams with a big second half, and the Bullets get their second victory, I believe, of the season down in New Zealand.
Yeah. Different location, but certainly in New Zealand. Different venue, I should say.
Same country.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. But different venues.
That's
so
right.
what do you do is there's these structures you play a game of basketball in, Jack.
Yeah.
And it was a different one.
Fun fact, Andrew.
Thank you.
So if you looked at a map, they're not on the same. Yes.
That's right.
Gotcha.
Fun fact, the only country I've never lost a game in.
Somehow or other, it's about Derek.
Yeah. Wow. Can I just...
Well, you know what? If that ever comes up in a trivia night, Drew, you've got the answer.
That's it.
No score. Dellavedova made a couple of baskets in this second quarter.
Wow.
To get cooking.
He is good at that. He can play bully ball with the best of them when he drives in there. And even the big fellas, he can move.
Very strong, upper body and lower body. And when he has that ball in his right hand, he's terrific at getting the left side of his body into the defender's vulnerable spot, driving them backwards. And as you said, Andrew, he can do it to the biggest of men.
So a guy like that, Drewy,
yeah.
How are you, there's Tanasi Kokonakis in the crowd, guy like Matthew Dellavedova who wants to barge his way in.
Yeah.
How are you defending?
Don't give him that run up to it. You got to meet him a whole lot earlier and try and keep him out of the paint. But if you're meeting him a lot earlier and influencing the ball a lot earlier, you have a better chance. Prevention better than cure.
And it takes away that momentum and the power that he uses against you.
He's got 8 points. Sobey fires away. Rebound by John Brown. They've been crashing the offensive glass this season. The Phoenix, they're the #1 team in the competition for O boards.
Oh dear.
Foxwell, athletic.
And I love that little organization there, Andrew. After they got that offensive rebound and got it back to Sobey at the top, you saw the two big sprint into that horns position. Great secondary offense after an offensive rebound.
So timeout, Sydney Kings. 28 apiece in his Tangerine timeout. The Phoenix have been trying to extend this lead, but every time they've attempted to, the Sydney Kings have done a good job, as Kelsey Brown told us. Brian Gorgon said he's happy with the way that this game looks at quarter time. He'd be happy with the score being 28 apiece as well. Reminder, tomorrow night it's the Cairns Taipans taking on Melbourne United. The Taipans looking to bounce back after what can only be described as an abhorrent performance last night in the Ignite Cup.
It's a good word to describe it.
Is it safe to say that Perth got all of the quarter points?
Oh, they got every single piece of it. Let's get over to Kelsey Brown.
Yes, I'm here with Simon Derrick, CEO of the South East Melbourne Phoenix, and Jasmine Knox, Wotherong youth leader. Both very important people in bringing the Indigenous game to us tonight. Simon, I want to ask you, how does this game feel for you, and how important is it, the involvement for Phoenix to be in a game like this?
Look, I think it's a wonderful opportunity for us. I mean, sport's always renowned for bringing communities together. I think tonight's a great celebration of Indigenous culture, chance to share culture with others, and I think given the international nature of our sport, also the chance to share culture with other people in and around the globe, both players and also through our international broadcast. So very special.
We absolutely love what you're doing. Jasmine, you are a part of Wotherong Youth Hub. Can you explain to us some of the community setups and things that you're doing in the hub?
So we do some amazing sort of stuff down there at Wotherong through Currong. We provide pathways for young people from primary school right through to secondary school, and we run youth programs on a Monday night and a youth group on a Wednesday night. But yeah, sport is an amazing opportunity for our young kids here. Yeah.
We absolutely love what you guys are doing. Thank you so much for everything that you put together for Indigenous Round. Back to you, Jeff.
Well done, Jasmine. Well done, Simon. Well done to everyone involved in what's happening here tonight at the Fire Pit. So many young Indigenous boys and girls are here to take in this game. They'll have a little play of their own at halftime. They are seeing a highly competitive game between the Phoenix and the Kings. Oh, and Foxwell into double figures now.
With the glide, finishes with his offhand. So talented, Foxwell. Slippery with the ball, Drewy.
Crafty around the rim.
Trouble here, though.
He's not stopping that.
Suarez again, going about his business. Knocked down the 3 ball before that. He's up to 10 points now, perfect from the field, 3 of 3.
Foster almost lost the handle. Now Brown under all sorts of pressure. The Kings starting to ratchet things up a little bit at the defensive end.
Having said that, Bull Quall in the past 2 weeks has started to show signs of being back to his defensive best. It started in that terrific game they played down in Adelaide, where they beat Adelaide convincingly. And then last week he was good again on the defensive end. Now this is a guy in his final season at Perth that was a 41% three-point shooter. Hasn't quite found that yet, Andrew.
No.
But health is what's most important for him at the moment, and the shot will eventually come because the talent is there.
And what he's doing a better job of as well is just minimising the unnecessary fouls. He's renowned for just getting into some foul trouble.
Sobey got away from Qual for a moment. Wonderful pass for Foster. The vision from Nathan Sobey there was spectacular.
That was really good basketball. Great screening action to free Sobey up. And Bull Quall's chasing him hard. The Kings rotate. Do a good job to cut off Sobey's lane to the bucket, but Sobey threw a terrific pass. Got knocked those shots down. Ooh, look at Sobey and Quall.
Here it is.
A lot of pushing both ways.
Both ways, but because of the reputation Quall has, he's not going to get the 50-50 calls, and that's another reason, to your point, Andrew, where he needs to minimize the careless and silly fouls.
He's plus 50 for the season, ball quality. Leads the Sydney Kings in the plus-minus stat. Ketchalier steps out. He'll be last touched by the Phoenix.
They're getting some good looks at the Phoenix. 3 of 11 right now from the three-point line.
This is the thing with Southeast Melbourne. They ride the roller coaster with the 3-ball. Against Adelaide last Thursday, they were 8 of 31. Against Illawarra, they were 18 of 45. No prizes for guessing which one they won and which one they lost.
Yes.
Six remains on the shot clock for Sydney. Baseline ball. Josh King wants to have a chat about things.
He's thinking about challenging.
33-30. Phoenix just starting to have the better of Southeast Melbourne in quarter number 2. It feels like they're working things out a little bit. We're about to jump in and take a listen to one of the greatest of all time, Brian Goorjian, back in Melbourne, coaching against Southeast Melbourne tonight.
Let's do this. KD, you're here. All right, we're here. JG, I want this screen and go so his man steps off. Set the stagger here. Keep going, slip. All right, ball side. 3, JG. You're opposite the ball, coming off 2. Slap. Come, he steps off. These 2 picks out, slip, shot. You good?
It's a coaching journey that started in Melbourne in 1988 with the Eastside Spectres. If you want to be technical, it started earlier than that. 1986 was Brian's first coaching job with the Ballarat Miners. He coached the Spectres 88-91, the Magic 92-98, 2 titles there, and the Victoria Titans from 1998 to 2002.
Incredible run. Davis continues his penetration barrage, but no good. But Brian Goorjian influenced so many generations of basketball players and future coaches, Andrew.
Knocked down from a Ketchalier.
I was noting about that, and was in charge of Australia's most significant moment on the international stage with the Boomers, and it's Galloway. Not only can he shoot the 3, gets to the cup. Brian Goorjian's legacy, it's extraordinary what he's done. He's still got, I think, 20 more to go.
Think about as a kid coming to watch the Magic. Kendrick Davis, look at that speed. Blocked by Lewis. Emphatic block from the next star. Here's Maldonado, and the Phoenix starting to get their game going as well.
Triggered by a great block by Malik Lewis on Kendrick Davis, and Maldonado really needed that one to fall.
Great for the confidence of Lewis, even better for the confidence of Hunter Maldonado, who's had his struggles here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Here's the Amy replay.
It is, and this is an advantage that the Phoenix have on someone like Davis, is they can throw so many different options to him. They got size. Malik Lewis, 6'9", or thereabouts, 6'8", 6'9". Or they can go small with Foxwell or Glover. Got different options that they can throw at him. And Maldonado, who has had a tough time, has just made a 3, and he's going to go have a spell.
Well, I think that was a real reluctant walk to the bench. Looking at Josh King like, Coach, I finally knocked one down. Can I get a little bit more burn?
He fell over on the next possession. I think that's what Josh King was saying, was keep your feet.
Josh King, we know, is unforgiving about defensive errors.
Lear putting on a nice show, blocked by Cooks. Nice hands. Phoenix retained possession. Shot clock down to single figures. Sobey under close attention from Bull Quam. Forced into a tough look. What foul will be on Qual, so that's his second of the period.
And that's
flirting with danger.
That's unfortunate because outstanding ball screen defense by Xavier Cooks there, forced up a rush shot.
Lewis wide open. Off the back of the iron. Offensive rebound, Foxwell. Sobey tries his luck. He's still hot.
This is another thing that sometimes you want to live with. Josh King really wants to buy some time to give his video guy to look at it, because that's Foxwell's third. And his video team just a little slow on the uptake and decides not to. There's a good 3 or 4 fakes of challenging by Josh King.
I think it caught us all by surprise, that one. It happened quickly. Foxwell certainly wanted a challenge. Dellavedova gave up his 3 for Suarez. Sobey gets after it. Calls off the chase. Lewis urged to shoot the 3 ball by the coach. He's had 2 good looks that don't go.
Drew, my fault on that one. I signaled to you that was Foxwell's third, but it's actually only his second.
Oh.
Davis, what a move! Slicing and dicing his way through the Phoenix defense. 9 points on 4 of 8 for the runner-up in last year's MVP. A lead denied by Cooks. Dellavedova lays it up. King's back in front.
And Delly hunts contact when he gets to the paint. You can see that he wants to get that contact because he knows he can get that separation. And Foxwell was a little reluctant with those 2 fouls.
Foxwell and Dellavedova just going a number on one another. Foxwell now with 12 points, Dellavedova with 10.
It's a fun battle, that one, isn't it?
It is. Foxwell has 4 assists, been really good in this one. And Andrew, we mentioned in the opener that both of these teams are really good looking after the basketball. Phoenix only have 2 turnovers, the Kings have 3.
Oh, Foxwell didn't want to come out of the game there. Josh King made the decision with 2 fouls. He didn't want to risk a third late in the quarter. Suarez rolls to the cup. Points won't count. It's interesting, Drew, for all of the off-season recruits, and we have one of the best off-seasons I think we've ever had here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Tim Suarez, maybe as a former champion in the league, maybe wasn't spoken about as much as some of the other recruits, but perfect for what Sydney needs.
100%. They need perimeter scoring, and he stretches the floor. He's shooting it really well from the 3-point line on the season. Now, the only take on him is with so much on-ball action, can he move his feet, keep people in front and on the defensive end, and can he dominate the boards enough? But so far this season, he has ticked 2 out of those 3 boxes with the 3-point shooting and the rebounding.
12 points a game, 8.5 rebounds, shooting it at 36%.
He's a real professional and durable. Sometimes we get bigs in this league who are too big, and they don't really get the chance to impact winning, but we know Suarez, as a former championship winner, can definitely do that.
Rare opportunity for Angus Glover. Only has 2 points for the night after a career-high 23. 26, I should say, last Saturday night.
Oh.
Davis attracts a crowd, which creates some room for Dellavedova.
Well, that's Iwando needing to understand what you need to do. Hard closeout on Matthew Dellavedova, not required. And Delly goes by him.
Kings lead by 3 in a game where there's been little separating the 2. Half-time approaching. Sobey searching for contact, finds it.
Smart offensive basketball there by Sobey, realizes where that defender is and that the defender's out of control, and that will be the 3rd foul now. Xavier Cooks takes a seat on the bench. But sometimes, Andrew, coming into a game like this where you have a new player in a one-do, and everyone assumes on the outside that, oh, they're going to be significantly better because of that addition. Well, There's a time lag involved in which you learn each other. He doesn't know most of these guys or how they like to play or where they want the ball delivered when in a catch and shoot situation. So while that growth, you may see it today, but realistically, you can't expect it for another few weeks.
No, that's true. I will say, though, I think these days it's a little easier than what it has been previously because it's read-react basketball. It's 5 out. It's not, you're not going to be messing a whole lot up because of the structure that you see in some parts of the world or at other levels. It's a little easier to understand the system, but you're right, to understand the connections with your teammates is the real key.
Shot clock at 9 for Davis. Isolates Awundu. He's so crafty. It's like the basketball's like a yo-yo in his hand. He's just playing with it all the time, but he's always in control.
He's so quick with the basketball. And I know one of Josh King's pet peeves is when these small players like Kendrick Davis or Bryce Cotton continually get to the free throw line.
Yeah. Well, there is an art to doing that. And it's a skill set that
it is.
You need to develop, Derek.
Great scorers know how to get right where Kendrick Davis is now, at the free throw line. Low energy, high percentage. Go to the line and shoot 2.
Down this year, he's like a little above 80% last season from the free throw line. Now he's around that low 70s.
Three-point shooting numbers are down too, Drew. He's 22% for the season from deep. He was 37 last year. One thing that he hasn't lost is his quickness. How fast can he get from one end to the other?
And he's also claiming there was a goaltend, but they're saying Michael Aylen says that ball was below the rim.
Well, from his angle, when he was lying on the floor, he could possibly see the ball hit the backboard, but he didn't realize it was the bottom of the backboard, and the ball was not above the rim.
He's saying the view was slightly distorted.
Is it?
43-46. Geelong champion Jimmy Bartell, Brownlow medalist, in the house tonight.
And we noted before the game the margin of victory that both of these teams have experienced this season. I said there would certainly be a single-digit victory by someone here, Andrew. I think you thought 10 or more.
It's pass, Glover for Awundu.
Oh, no, I thought that when you look at the results this season, this one had the makings for break the consistent run of teams that winning by big margins.
We've already had one thriller tonight.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for another. Davis winds this clock down. Great D from Awundu. He fouls him at the very last moment.
Josh King pleading for a travel on the sideline.
Did he get the shot? Oh, yeah, they put it back to 1.4 on the shot clock. Really didn't need to do it. He dropped the arms. Josh King wanted to travel. But to me, that was not a smart play. Like, he just needed to keep his arms vertical. Take a look at the replay and watch the arms come down when he shoots it. Right?
He traveled.
There. Foul, though. It's a foul.
Yeah, but you were right originally. He did travel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Davis misses the first. 4 of 7 from the line tonight. Deep in thought. He takes care of the second. Time for the Phoenix to manufacture something. Sobey for Brown. Didn't get it away in time. A tight, tense Thursday night tussle at John Cain Arena. Sydney leading 48-45. There is absolutely nothing between these two teams.
So you described it perfectly, Jack. A real arm wrestle here at John Cain Arena, and both coaches doing as much as they can to try and give
their team the upper hand. But Drew, I don't know who has ascendancy in this one.
No, it's an even ball game. It's a good ball game. Enjoyed every minute of that first half and got some real problems. Both teams just trying to figure out how they're going to get the advantage.
Tim Suarez has had a good first half, and he's alongside Kelsey Brent.
He has. Tim, Brian Gorgon said at quarter time that he was happy with how you guys are going. 48 points to the half. Have you seen that first 20?
I think we had a couple mistakes, but I think overall our intensity is high, and that's what we wanted to do, come in with a lot of intensity, make sure we got back on transition. They're a really good transition team, so I think we've done a pretty good job at that.
Nathan Sobey is causing some problems on the other side, 15 points. How do you stop his impact in the second half?
Yeah, I just got to get the ball out of his hand, make sure that we're up and pressuring. I think that will be the key to the next quarter, the next 2 quarters.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Well, we've been asking for a close one, and 45 plays 48. Not much separating the Kings and the Phoenix here in Melbourne. Don't go anywhere. Your Hungry Jacks halftime highlights. We'll be back straight after this. Very special Indigenous round here at John Cain Arena. It's the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix behind by 3 at the major break. Josh King right in there talking to his troops. I'm Kelsey Brown, joined by Derek Rucker and Andrew Gaze. What a first 20, Ruck.
It was very balanced, and the stats tell the story. Not much in it, Andrew. Look, Sydney dominated in the paint, though. They outscored the Phoenix 20-12, but fairly balanced contributions. Yep. Dellavedova was good in the first half. I thought Sobey was really good. It's hard to pick a winner from here.
Yeah, and a lot of the difference, you can see the discrepancy, 10 three-point field goal attempts by Sydney to the 18 to the Phoenix. In some way or other,
they've got to find a way to get Xavier Cooks involved.
Right.
Not a single field goal attempt, and he's got to get himself involved as well. He's a big piece of what they're doing, and he's really been unsighted in this first half.
But someone who has been unstoppable from the minute he touched the ball, he was in a mood. It was Nathan Sobey. He's our Hungry Jacks halftime highlights. 15 points, but he's been impressive. He just feels like he's got a bit of a groove about him.
Well, as soon as he got in the car tonight, he had his mind made up. It was me time, it was go time, and he got it popping right off. He knocked down a couple of threes. Then he got his handle going, Drew, and he's so athletic and smooth with the basketball.
Yeah.
He is one of the toughest covers at the two-guard position in the league.
Particularly when he sees his first few go in, because he's not going to die wondering. And you look at the stats of Sobes, came out super aggressive, field goal percentages, tapered ever so slowly, but 5 of 11 is really good. The 15 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. He's up and in, he's energized, and he's had a good first half.
And he is so athletic. That's what I love about Nathan Sobey. He's explosive and he gets about it. Someone on the other side of things, Matthew Dellavedova, we've been speaking a lot about him, still having those troubles from deep, but how have you seen his first half?
Well, yeah, he's not shooting the ball well from deep, but at least he missed one and gave up on it, Andrew. He didn't force it, and he started to get to the paint. He's still pretty tough to contain when he decides to get to the bucket. Phoenix need to do a better job of just keeping him in front, and when he goes to bully ball, send a double.
Well, that's right, and the thing is, he has dominated. He's called his own number. Over the course of his career, he's one of the elite distributors, and I think if I'm Xavier Cooks, I'm saying, I'm going to Delly and say, hey, Delly, I haven't had a shot here. You got to find a way to get me involved a little bit more. He's also had 4 free throws, so he's dominated a lot on the offensive end, missed his 3-ball horribly, but he hasn't continued to shoot him. He's done what he's done. He's had success at getting in the paint, and he's had after a slow start, had a good first half.
Have you seen Brian Goorjian's rotations as a positive? He's played 10 players.
Yeah, I think he's done a pretty good job with that, and I think the Kings are settling into a rotation that works. But again, the salient point that Andrew has hit on twice, they've got to find a way to get Xavier Cooks more involved in the offense. The shot allocation was much better in the victory over Perth. Today it's a bit lopsided.
Well, we've got another 20 minutes here, but a massive game of Indigenous round continues tomorrow night. We've got Cairns Taipans up against Melbourne United. A huge game. Melbourne United undefeated at the moment to start NBL 26. 7:30 p.m. at Cairns Convention Centre. Cairns Taipans looking to bounce back from a very tough loss last night. Very excited to see what happens up there in Cairns, but stay around for the next 20.
Yeah, I mean, Indigenous round is huge, not just for us, but everybody in the league. Some of my favourite jerseys of all time in the NBL have been some of those Indigenous round jerseys. And to see the stories and the cultures and all that come behind them and kind of form it into a jersey is pretty special and pretty cool. So over the years, being able to be a part of people bringing in their story and telling us, it just makes it even more special to be able to go out and represent that jersey.
Round 6 and 7 is Indigenous round here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. You can support your team this season and purchase the jersey. Scan the QR code or jump onto nblstore.com.au. The Southeast Melbourne jersey symbolises Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people's culture and successful longevity through many millennia, amongst other things. They look absolutely superb. The Sydney Kings wearing theirs as well, designed in collaboration with Stu James. It's all about identity to go forward in life, with all about embracing stories that have built the foundations of who the Sydney Kings are as a club. And a massive thank you to everyone who has been involved in designing their jerseys across Indigenous round. Round 6 and round 7, we are very privileged and we appreciate the access of Josh King, the coach of the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, who's mic'd up with us to start the third quarter. 3 points in it. We've got a close one here, Josh.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Yeah, we're right there. We got to be better. We talked at halftime with our foul discipline. We put them to the line 22 times. That's way too many.
Josh, they're trying to attack the paint, in particular Matthew Dellavedova. He's been good in that first half of getting in there. What do you do to try and keep him out?
We got to contain the ball. Our pickup points have got to be higher. Our bigs have got to be more physical. We all got to do our job better. Let's go. Come on.
And Josh, Weza Wundu, he's had a good little start. What have you thought about it?
Yeah, I thought he's been solid. He just got here last week. He's not in tip-top game shape yet, but I thought he gave us a nice little burst in that first half.
Now, you guys are on defense here. Do you have a set call when you first get the ball on the offensive end?
Yeah, we have a first play coming out the break here.
Who are we going to do, Josh?
The open man.
Nice.
Well, if you were coaching Andrew, he thinks he's open all the time.
If I was coaching Andrew, the first play would be for him.
Thank you.
Josh King, the coach of the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Might just take a listen for 20 seconds here, Josh.
Yeah, good. Up the lead, left. Good. Back. Good. First play, here we go.
Way to talk him through it, Coach.
Good job.
Good call on the screen.
Makes you look like a genius. Josh, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And it was not a surprise. They trying to get Xavier Cooks going early on. And they ran a play for him. Just a poor pass on the roll.
Opening minute of the third quarter. Big thanks to Josh King as well in the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. The clubs are being really open and approachable with ideas and doing different things across broadcast this season. That is something a little bit different.
Yeah, we did it with Dean Vickerman in the United game as well, and it is a great insight. And the thing is when we did it with Dean, they were up, had a bit of a margin, but you're down 3, and wasn't so willing to share his thoughts on who he's going to go to. But
well, I mean, to be fair, Derek asked him for all the details of the player to start the third quarter.
You got to get in there. But you know what I like?
As well ask for his credit card details, Derek.
Well, you know what I like about it is it brings the human side of the coaches. Josh King, you see him rampaging off and on the sidelines, but he's one of the most friendly coaches that we have. Is Kendrick lets one go from deep and he strikes gold, which has been rare for him this season, down on his 3-point attempt, so we know he's capable.
16 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, +8 for the evening is Kendrick Davis. Continuing to find ways to score, just like this guy, Nathan Sobey, who's the game's leading scorer with 17.
Just a tough back and forth matchup. What a pass.
Davis couldn't score through contact. Phoenix pushed the issue. Sobey, an ambitious pass, is knocked out of play.
Really good lead defense by Lewis at the rim with Davis coming at him to stay vertical, change the shot.
And Drew, the next time the Kings have the ball, let's talk about Xavier Cooks and potential ways to get him some looks.
Get him on the elbow and just let him rip it. Get him in some, because he's really good at putting the ball to the floor. He needs some ISOs, I think, or a post up.
Strong rebound by Suarez. Kings lead by 4. Davis foul. So Xavier Cooks, Drew.
Yep.
MVP from a couple of seasons ago, has gone a half without a field goal attempt. Is he a bit of a victim now of the fact that they have Dellavedova and Davis as primary ball handlers?
That's part of it, and a little less structure in the half court because they're trying to play so quick and everything's coming off the dribble. He's relying on others to get him the ball. Now, he has the ability to take it off the rim and go coast to coast, absolutely. But very rarely do you see 3 or 4 passes where everyone gets a touch, and he just hasn't had enough touches. So you need to have a design play, whether it's an ISO, a post-up, or whatever it might be, just to get him a look. And that's simple. On ball, easy.
Well, it's interesting, Drewy, that Phoenix just scored on an empty side on ball. Delhi goes back to work on Sobey as the scoring starts to tick up, and Dellavedova's down.
His point scoring is up, though. Sobey unstoppable.
But Drewy, even if you got Cooks in an on-ball, 2-man game, kick it back to him in a pop situation, at least you got a one-on-one situation against a defender who may be at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Foxwell down the middle. Great pass for Hunter. Davis got him over the back.
And it's just, you know, we all have our preferences, but for me, running some cutting, some off-ball screening for him, whether it's a flex cut, a little shuffle cut, whatever it may be, to help move the defense. If you're going to post him, don't just, hey, go down to the box and get it. Run a cut as Cooks checks out of the game now.
But how do you balance that with the fact, Andrew, that they're actually winning the game?
Yeah. So it's a fine line, isn't it? But ultimately, you're talking about trying to find your best way for the... You are winning now in a tight one, but ultimately, he needs to feel good. If he gets a bit more touches, he scores a little bit more, it motivates you in other areas of the game too when you're contributing on the offensive end.
Because you look at the rest of his stats, he's only got 3 rebounds, got a couple of blocked shots, but he's certainly not impacting this game the way Xavier Cooks normally would.
Comes out, Suarez for 3. That's well short. Hunter and Foxwell get caught up. Great desperation from the big man. Laying sprawled on the floor, made sure that the Phoenix retained possession. Foxwell, a party trick. Brown with the offensive rebound. Glover came flying in. 3 attempts. All no good. Kawatnoi in transition. Scores!
Balls on Brown. For the push.
We've seen flashes tonight of Sydney, little moments, 2-3 minutes where it starts to come together, and that's symptomatic of their season at 3-3. When it does come together, it can look quite good.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that because of the talent. And you've got Kendrick Davis, Dellavedova, and Xavier Cooks to start off with. So there should be a minimum level that is pretty competitive. But still, Jack, something just isn't right yet as Hunter makes a nice little move to finish that one. Drew, do you get that same sense?
No, absolutely. I think Brian's still trying to figure out some of the roles, refining those a little, and his rotations.
Davis just toying with the little jumper from the baseline. 20 on 6 of 11 shooting for Kendrick Davis. He's threatening to single-handedly take this game away from the Phoenix. Foxwell dribbles into a cul-de-sac. Dellavedova fouls him. And then some contact after it.
I think Nathan Sobey's going to get a tech foul here. It was off the ball. Which I don't know what he was upset about.
So I'm assuming it's verbal?
Yeah, it was. It was off the ball on the weak side. Nathan Sobey.
Now, Drew, it wasn't very demonstrative, so whatever the words were must have been quite biting.
I think Nathan Sobey was wanting an upgrade to an unsportsmanlike and gave his feedback to the officials that had a few adjectives that just were not appropriate.
Well, Sobey has 3 fouls, and Josh King has decided that he will have to spend a bit of time on the bench. Doesn't want to risk Sobey picking up his 4th.
Where's Awundu back into the game on debut tonight for the Phoenix. Hunter rolls to the basket, and when he rolls with purpose.
And really, that's where Nathan Sobey's got to understand his importance in the game situation. Don't let the emotions get the better of you, but more importantly, give yourself 3 fouls. And
well, I mean, he's now in his mid-30s, and to some extent, I think with respect to his emotions and his passion, he is what he is. Now, while he's improved in other areas with actually performance and how he plays the game, you're asking for that emotional improvement to come as well.
Well, you can still play with emotion without swearing and saying the wrong words. If he hasn't sworn there, I guarantee he's not getting a tech, because like you said, it wasn't demonstrative. He was walking away. It clearly, the words he used were choice.
Well, Qual lines it up. You watch Malawatch out there. Strong offensive rebound. Kings get another look at things. Loose ball available. Glover, former King.
Jack, I keep expecting the Kings to pull away. When they get that 6-7 point lead, they just either can't finish or the Phoenix make a play.
Foxwell unloads.
And that's what I'm talking about. Just staying within reach as Foxwell, now 6 of 10 from the field, 15 points.
He needs some help. Foxwell working out the top, but he's up against an elite guy. There needs to be a little weak side help.
Awundu over the top of Kendrick Davis. He's making some new friends pretty quickly.
I like his size.
Cut it back to 3. To Derek's point, the biggest lead for Sydney in the game is 7. Malawatch left that one. Awundu to tie it up.
Okay.
Is fouled. He'll be shooting 3. Kelsey Brown courtside.
You talk a lot about Xavier Cooks, who hasn't had a field goal attempt, but I want to talk about Angus Glover as well. Only 2 points at this point in the game. He's coming off his career high 26. Does Southeast Melbourne need to do similar to what you're saying Kings need to do for Cooks?
Well, it would be nice to get a contribution, not as great as last game from Glover, but certainly he needs to try and knock down a few shots. But he is not the match winner on a consistent basis for Southeast Melbourne. When you get him firing like he did last game, you're going to get that big result. On the other hand, Xavier Cooks is a guy who needs to be a consistent performer for this Kings team. Now, they may get out of here today with a victory with low productivity from Cooks, but they're not going deep in anybody's playoffs with this type of contribution.
No, it's spot on. That different roles, 2 different players, and yeah, you'll have those moments with Glover. And you might run a set here or 2 that perhaps you could give him a little.
Yeah, see if you can get a hit.
Yeah, but he's 1 of 3.
Scores tied at 63.
Wow.
Phoenix over the limit. Jalen Galloway will be at the stripe.
And that's something, Jack, that's just a lack of familiarity with officiating in the NBL. Not sure what he's allowed to do with the forearm pressure on the ball handler, Andrew.
Yeah.
And he's going to find out. At times, this league can be quite physical. Then other times, it can be quite touchy.
True. But I'm not sure if there's too many leagues in the world where that's not getting called. That particular one.
You could have just disagreed with him from the start.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think your point is very valid. I'm just saying. That one when you're shooting and you just extend the forearm.
He's forever the diplomat. That's the beauty of the man.
Yep.
Wow, tough finish from Maldonado. These two teams continue to go blow for blow.
And Drew, we've been in that import position. We understand what it's like as we look at the Amy replay. He sets Davis up, realizes he's got a size advantage, hangs, gets the ball to drop, and you can just feel him wanting some level of success to earn his coach's trust.
He's gone after it again, enables a Ketchalier. Phoenix take the lead by 2.
Well, I said in the first quarter, Phoenix are good at 2 things, turning you over and offensive rebounds. That's now 11 offensive rebounds as they take the lead.
Well, that's the type of play that I was talking about, how he brings it down. It's a 5 out, the floor spread. And that time, maybe with that anxiety, just snatches at it.
Well, Drew, he's barely touched the ball, and now he's got it on full speed. It's, you know, you're central.
And he's anxious. He knows that he's not contributing like he wants to. And your mind starts to race, and you get rushed into stuff.
Hunter for 3.
Wow.
Home court advantage.
And now the emotions in the building and in the team. Phoenix suddenly full of confidence.
Jordy Hunter shooting at 50% for the season. That's been in addition to his game. And Phoenix have taken a 5-point lead of their own. Galloway puts the ball on the deck. Bonus free throws to come for Sydney.
This is going to be a look at the replay with Jordy Hunter's 3, but this is a Wandu's 4th foul, I believe.
And Andrew, I think when Galloway's got that ball on the bounce like that, I don't necessarily want to crowd him too much. If he wants to raise up and shoot the 3 off the bounce, and you get a nice solid contest, but I'm not opening up that driving lane to him as Noy gets an offensive rebound.
Galloway reaching in on Maldonado. Kawhi Noy is quietly accumulating, 9 and 5 for the night.
And that's a poor foul in the backcourt. These tight games, Andrew, free throws and offensive rebounds are so significant.
Wow. Sydney Kings have not been a good free throw shooter across the season.
Phoenix across the season, Drew, have been. They're 80%, but tonight, not so much. 68%. 71-68. Cooks with his first score of the night. And it comes at an important time and a little sigh of relief as well.
Tough way to get his first points also.
May have a big role to play in this game down the stretch. Glover a long way from the cup. Shot clock down to 5 over the top of Dellavedova. That rims out. Rebound Galloway. Dellavedova takes matters into his own hands, can't score. And touched Jordy Hunter last.
We've got a flop warning on Angus Glover.
Now, Drew, you and I had some discussion several weeks ago up in Brisbane about similar plays. Now, on this one, I agree with you. I don't believe that's an offensive foul, and that was a true flop warning. Not enough contact in the chest.
Phoenix by 1. Galloway. Tough jumper.
And that's the defense I was talking about. Daniel Foster did a terrific job.
Maldonado goes straight through Dellavedova and scores.
Well, if that end was a flop warning, which is it's a 50-50 one, well then it has to be a flop warning down the other end, you would think.
Hunter Maldonado starting to build some confidence. The longer this game goes, Noy fouled and one.
And Jordy Hunter looking at the bench saying he didn't touch him, but the defensive tactic he used was incorrect. He needed to wall up on Noy. And you see the frustration on Josh King. He's saying that's a foul. Is that mic still on with Josh King? Yes, wall up.
It's all fair. Scores tied again. This is tense.
It is. It's a good one.
Bullets by one earlier tonight in New Zealand over the Breakers. Here's Maldonado stepping into the three ball.
You could feel it, Drewy. That last bucket he got, you could see his body viscerally changing. His confidence is growing.
He's got 11. They get a hand on that one. Glover on a tear, coast to coast, scores.
That's nice.
Five quick points for the Phoenix. And they very nearly get it back again.
Yeah, it's some good defense at both ends of the floor, but it's Phoenix, the scoring opportunities just seem to be coming a little easier this last few minutes for them.
Kendrick Davis off the floor at the moment for the Kings. Matthew Dellavedova leading the way. Foster, the youngster, does an outstanding job not to get forced away. Great D.
Great work.
Held his composure. Cooks goes for a swipe. Big defensive play from the youngster.
Bad foul. Really bad foul.
And that's 4 fouls on Xavier Cooks as his tough night continues. Outstanding defense on the block by Daniel Foster. Bodies Dellavedova, and Drew didn't get shook by Dellavedova, didn't get moved off his spot. Excellent strength.
It is, and there, when Delly shot that, there's still 8 seconds to go on the shot clock, and it was just a real wild, forced-up shot, hoping he'd get to the free throw line and hoping he'd hear a whistle. It didn't come, and Foster, with good footwork, keeps him in front. And this last minute and a bit has been exceptional for the Phoenix.
Daniel Foster, as Brian Gorzin looks a little concerned. In front of the Kings bench, Foster in just his 6th NBL game, first season here in the league. Owned his moment there. The Kings searching for a late bucket. Suarez with a size advantage over Glover. They eventually find him. He's just too big and he can't finish it off though. 5 seconds for the Phoenix. Maldonado for Glover, who fumbles.
There might be a little time left, perhaps. They're just reviewing the game clock. But gee, this last couple of minutes without Davis on the floor has been really expensive for the Sydney Kings. They just haven't had anyone at those moments just to keep that scoreboard ticking over.
And that's true. But the 34 points scored by the Phoenix in this third quarter, Andrew, has also been extremely costly.
Oh, for sure. No doubt about that. But when your defense is not holding, you're going to have to rely on your offense to just to hang in there as you try and make some adjustments, and they just haven't been able to do it with Davis on the floor.
0.9 to work with for Southeast Melbourne. And Noy takes care of that. The Phoenix lead by 6 at three-quarter time. 79-73. Nothing between these two teams. This is Thursday Night Hoops here in the Hungry Jacks NBL, all part of Indigenous Round.
Well, the anticipation for this matchup has lived up to the hype. 79 plays 73, 6 points separates the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix and the Sydney Kings. Xavier Cook sits out for the start of this one with those 4 fouls, but it was Hunter Maldonado and the new import Weza Wundu for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix that really got it cooking. Derek and Gazy, can you pick this one?
Well, this is going to be tight, but I think Southeast Melbourne have some threes left in them. I think both coaches would have been very disappointed with the defensive performance in that third quarter, Drew.
Yeah, for sure. In particular, the Sydney Kings giving up just too many points.
The Phoenix have won 15 of their last 16 fourth quarters when they play here at John Cain Arena. They have a happy knack of closing out games at this venue. It's not their best from Foxwell.
What about the bench points? 33 to 12 in favour of the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
Which is normally a stat that's... Now this is a...
Kendrick wants to
late
challenge.
Overrule, yeah.
But they have no more challenges. Brian Goorjian burnt his challenge early, remember?
Correct.
Foxwell with pace. It does a lap and drops.
Well, Foxwell is continuing to burn them as a unit. 17 points and really up and into Davis. And that will be Foxwell's 3rd foul. Everyone on the court for the moment for the Phoenix has 3 fouls, so it's not panic stations with foul trouble, but certainly one to the wrong player could be problematic.
Kendrick Davis now starting to voice his frustration to the officials. Owen Foxwell clearly getting under his skin. Davis defers to Noy. Great rebound, Suarez, the spin and the finish.
Sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time. Come off the ring hard, and good hands by Suarez.
Now it's Foxwell's turn at the offensive end. Sobey, pass, had neon lights all over it. Suarez saw it coming. The steal, and then the score.
What great mobility from Tim Suarez. He steals that ball, got in the passing lane, which is rare for a man of his size, and then finishes on the other end.
16 and 5 for the Brazilian. Big contribution in this one. Here's Hunter for 3.
We just can't leave him any longer. Throughout most of his career, you're willing to do that, but the hard show and recover and the stunting by Matthew Dellavedova on the weak side's not going to be enough. That's a bad miss.
A couple of those tonight, Jalen Galloway. Hunter to repeat the dose. Got it!
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Southeast Melbourne with their biggest lead of the night. Geordie Hunter lands 2 big blows against his former team.
Back-to-back threes by Geordie Hunter. And really put an early dagger out there into the Sydney Kings, forces a timeout. Good defense off of some poor offense by the Sydney Kings. A blown layup led to this little surge.
Yeah, at both ends of the floor, there's been some breakdowns or just misjudgments. And Geordie Hunter, that second one, he was just feeling confident after he made the first, and I'm letting it fly. It was probably not necessarily a great shot.
Definitely wasn't a good shot, but, you know, Hunter finally getting the stats to go with the quality of his play this season. He's been good, but he hasn't been this good.
Jordan Hunter started his NBL journey with the Sydney Kings. He's made it from the end of the bench all the way through to a starter with the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. But we've never seen him do this. Back-to-back threes on the Amy replay.
Yeah, it was. And not a bad closeout by Suarez because he knows he just made one. And this season, he has just been changed the way you have to play him now from the three-point line.
Davis with a hand in the face. Foxwell did just enough. Davis thought he was fouled. Still arguing his case. Meanwhile, back at the action. Sobey behind the back for Hunter. Still manages to find a way to access Brown. Late shot clock. Everything working for Southeast Melbourne.
Great play there by Jordy Hunter. Stumbled on his own feet, but recovered to get that ball to John Brown, and at least they got a shot up.
Nice pass. Hunter asleep. Straight find.
Josh King is having a conniption on the sideline. He wanted a foul because he knew his man, Owen Foxwell, was injured. Desperately trying to call for a foul. There's the Sobey, and just a push off. Not a lot in that. Down the other end.
Well, I think Josh King also was appealing to the referees to stop play. And that rule's always befuddled me. I never know when they're going to stop it and when they're going to let play continue.
Well, Owen Foxwell had put his hand up straight away. I think he'd taken a finger in the eye. 10-point game. Becomes 13. Phoenix have found the three ball.
Smart offense there from Southeast Melbourne. That two-man game between Hunter and Sobey worked to perfection. Suarez back at him.
We're at that point in the game, 13-point lead. These become really critical free throws. This game is getting away from the Sydney Kings.
Well, the pace of it picked up in that third quarter to the demise of the Sydney Kings. We know they don't play as fast as the Phoenix do. And,
So now tech foul on Josh King. So Suarez will shoot the extra one.
And then a couple more.
And then a couple more after that. So while he's doing that, let's check in with Kelsey Brown.
Oh, dear.
I asked Brian Gorgian prior to the game how he felt about his ejection last week. He said the emotion got the better of me and we can see it boiling up again. I do not think it was the right call, but he said the emotions I was feeling. He's looking frustrated at the moment. He turned to the bench. He said too many breakdowns defensively. This is just not good enough. So Brian Gorgian frustrated again.
Kelsey, you know what else he did say? He did say, I got to do better.
Yeah, he did.
I've got to do better. It's not what we want to stand for, the Sydney Kings. It's not the culture we're building. So he did own a lot of it.
Hasn't heard as much from the GOAT tonight. His team have got some work to do. 6:18 remaining. Thursday night hoops, Indigenous round here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Sobey over the top of Kendrick Davis. He's having some sort of performance.
Nice move there by Nathan Sobey. Gets Davis up in the air and has enough lower body strength to be strong and right back at him.
What about this guy? At the other end, just continues to find ways to score at will, Kendrick Davis. 25 in the game.
That's on Xavier Cooks. That could be an early night for him, couldn't it? And it is.
That will be 5 fouls on Xavier Cooks, who's trying to argue his point.
And they rolled the dice by having Cooks out there. Really caught in a bad situation with a double-digit deficit facing them.
Well, I don't mind the decision to put him out there because the game was on the line. And you want your best player, well, one of your best players to be out there.
Tough night at the office. 3 points. 1 made field goal, 3 rebounds. 2 turnovers, -6 for Xavier Cooks. He's played a lot of good ones here in the Hungry Jacks NBL tonight. Unfortunately for him, not one of those.
Speaking of good ones, Hunter Maldonado, outstanding. 4-4 from the field with 14 points. We love that type of efficiency.
I think that this has been his best game since coming to the Phoenix.
John Brown is ferocious.
All up and in on Suarez and Awundu. Tasked with stopping Dellavedova. Going to be a block on the Phoenix.
This is an interesting one.
And if so, that's 5 on where's Awundu?
So obviously not being in good game shape, Andrew. We know what happens under duress. The legs go.
Oh.
I'm not sure it was a foul. And Awundu, his night is over. 11 minutes, solid game, 10 points. I think he'll fit in well with this Phoenix outfit.
No doubt.
Not uncommon to see those coming in after the season started that perhaps hasn't got the experience in with the Australian League to get fouled out in their first outing.
Now Malik Lewis whistle. That'll be the Phoenix 4th of the turn. So free throws the rest of the way.
Now they got to be careful here because you don't want to be sending the Kings to the line where they can rack up points with the clock stopped. Especially when in this second half, Jack, the Kings have had a tough time scoring. Only 35 points thus far.
Dellavedova with the inbound duties. Davis. Guarded by Maldonado, finds a foul, got a push from Sobey after it. Frustration from the Phoenix, who feel like they're not getting the right side of the whistle. Timeout Sydney. There's all sorts of drama going on in this game.
Well, that timeout seemed against the grain, Andrew.
It is, and well, they need to reset. They need to make a couple of free throws, but they need to reset. Trailing it by 13. It was actually Josh King that was thinking about challenging, and it's a good thing I think he didn't.
They will now, I believe.
Oh.
So we've had 2 players foul out. We've got multiple guys in foul trouble.
There is no challenge yet.
It's round 6, but you could easily transport this game and play it in March somewhere. It's got that sort of feel to it tonight.
Well, the Mitsubishi Motors ladder, you can see it that it's tight. You've got the 2 teams at the top that have established a decent level of authority, but if Phoenix can win this one, man, they start to join that category. They keep in touch with the peloton.
Well, the important thing, Andrew, also
small peloton.
The Tour de France was a couple of months ago. Very, very good. But you just don't want to drop home games. Now Southeast Melbourne will officially challenge, which has been the longest time lag in sporting challenge history.
Well, now they're going to have to burn. It's another timeout.
Yes.
So they're risking another timeout. Now, this will be, they haven't had one this half. They've still got the 3 of them, so that'll come down to 2. And
had time to boil the kettle and make
and
the
this is where the decision by Brian Goorjian to have that timeout this stage. Now, he wasn't to know they were going to challenge. But let's have a look. Comes in.
So,
see the right arm that comes down? That's where I don't think I would not have challenged. Right there, the right arm comes down on Davis. So I think it's going to be a hard one to win. Bang, hits him. I just don't know how you can win that. Unless there's an angle that says he didn't hit him, but I just, that's pretty, and I think I'd agree with that. So they had a long time to dissect it, and they came up with a bad decision to challenge.
So 3rd on Hunter Maldonado. Call on the floor will stand. Free throws to come for the Sydney Kings, which has been an adventure for them. Let's get the explanation from Scott Butler.
Gentlemen, so when you process the play, there is a defensive foul by Maldonado where he hits the shooter across the left arm.
Yeah.
I cannot make any decision on the previous action with the head-to-head contact. I can only rule on the defensive foul.
Nice.
Thank you, Scott. Great explanation. Drew, you were all over it. That's a win for you as well in the Coach's Challenge.
Oh, well, it certainly is. And right now, the Kings need a win on the defensive end. They need to string together some stops.
Ketchalier out there, no Geordie Hunter. Unfortunately for the Phoenix, who's sitting down right now. Final 5 minutes. Sobey, high degree of difficulty, can't score. Phoenix get a repeat look.
Now there's still plenty of time left.
There is.
With 4:52.
But it's a possession game, Andrew, and right now, the Phoenix are just killing Sydney on the offensive glass. They've got 14 offensive rebounds. Got to clear the glass and get out and go.
Paul Quall is absolutely wearing Nathan Sobey like a second skin. Maldonado is growing in confidence. This is the night that he needed. He got a little fill-up last Saturday against Illawarra. Tonight, in a high-stakes game, he's been good.
And the other thing about with the Sydney Kings playing catch-up, you know, they've dug themselves a pretty decent hole now, potentially 13. They can't shoot the three ball.
Can't shoot the three.
So they're 29% on the season. They're 25%. Haven't taken a lot, only 4 of 16. And relative to how the game's played this day, that is a low number of attempts because they realise they just don't have those shooters out there. So it does put a lot more pressure on you to put some scoreboard pressure on when the odds of you hitting a three ball are not as good as other teams in the competition.
Well, it also decreases your margin for error on the defensive end.
Yeah. 97-85. Thursday night hoops here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Dellavedova trying to push this one all the way to the end.
That's not the type of shot the Kings need to get back in this one.
Sobey. Up top for Malik Lewis. The miss at one end, the make at the other.
And Phoenix are up to 13 threes. We figured that was around the threshold for success tonight. And they're shooting it at 43%. As that looked clean also.
I think it's going to be on the push.
Now keep your eye on this here.
Here we go.
Nathan Sobey and Kendrick Davis. It's been festering for most of the night. And it very nearly boiled over.
Well, right now, Phoenix don't need this. Be a little bit more submissive here. You've got a 15-point lead. Don't do anything that's going to give your opponent a chance. There was the push.
Body contact, correct. And Sobey has words for Davis as Davis is walking away.
Well, we saw that at the end of the game last night in Cairns with Admiral Schofield and Joe Lawala-Chul.
Yeah, I don't know what.
And I imagine a technical foul will be assessed to each player, Andrew, which would result in Sobey going to 4 fouls. And Davis in no sort of foul trouble.
Sobey out because doesn't he already have a 10?
Yes.
Yes.
So he would actually be removed from the contest.
And you're right, Andrew. There's just no need to get involved in this type of conduct right now. You're up 15 with just under 4 to play. You've got all the momentum.
So that was the push. That was a foul on Maldonado. Now, I don't know why Sobey's got some words of advice.
You know why. It's a psychological game, and he's trying to let him know something, whether that something is for now or for later.
I'm not sure, though, why. If you've already got a tech, you just need to, we got a 15-point lead, just cool things down. And Sobey, it's only the tech one way, so I guess if the officials haven't heard what he said.
So we shoot one for Southeast Melbourne. It'll be Nathan Sobey to take it, and just to rub salt into the wounds.
And that's a rare situation. Generally in basketball, in that type of incident, they whack one on each guy.
Yeah.
But actually, I don't mind them discerning and saying, hey, Davis, you did it first. As long as we're going to follow this pattern throughout the course of the season.
And this is the original defensive foul, which was on Hunter Maldonado.
Yep.
Woo. It's been a hell of a night, this one. And the tension between the two teams, you could probably say it's been a little bit bitchy at times tonight.
Oh, hello. Yeah, well, that's true.
We're not done yet. 14 points is the Phoenix advantage. The Kings are playing the catch-up game from here.
Well, Sobey's going to have to come up the floor and try and help out with ball handling.
Malik Lewis doubled up. Now the Phoenix can get something that they're after. Maldonado walks his way into the paint.
Just horrible defense. They extend it, get over the top of the extended defense, and then there's nowhere near the scramble and the urgency.
Dellavedova dumps it inside. Suarez scores. That's a flop.
That's a tech for a flop. So there's going to be 2 and another free throw. Oh, no, they're going to wave the basket off. Oh,
why does that bucket not count?
Because they're saying it happened before he started the motion of shooting.
Well, that's where you're rewarding a flop.
Right.
You're actually just count the bucket.
So instead of getting a potential 3, Davis will go to the line
for 1.
That's poor interpretation of the rule. Now, I'm not saying I know the technicality of it, Jack.
No, technically, it is logical what they're saying.
But the basketball common sense, Drew, doesn't add up to me.
Correct.
Three minutes and 24 seconds to play. Both teams, as you saw on the Mitsubishi Motors ladder, in similar positions. A win worth its weight in gold for both. Suarez almost lost the handle. And then Brown reaches across, and that'll be the end of his night.
Well, he got his money's worth on that 5th one, Drew.
And this one's gotten away from the Sydney Kings. And, you know, sometimes you see this team, you see the talent, and you go, you know what? Their very best can compete with the best, and they've got enough talent when things go right that they could contend for a title. I'm not sure just yet that what I see from the Sydney Kings, that the balance is right, that they can become a very good team.
And look, I don't want to over-categorize their struggles early in the season, but it's quite apparent if they get behind in games, it becomes very difficult for them to reduce the deficit quickly, which is a skill that you need to have during numerous stretches of a season if you want to be successful. They still have not attempted a 3-point shot since we first discussed this several minutes ago. They're still 4 of 16 from the 3.
And the hard part to follow with them, Drew, is that they've beaten Perth, they've beaten Adelaide. Yeah. So they've taken some good scalps this year.
No, they
already.
can become a real. I'm not talking about being a top team, but when you're ultimately out there trying to win it, I'm just not sure that they've got all the pieces they need.
And Jack, if this continues as is, it will be another double-digit loss for the Kings.
Shot clock at 8. Maldonado has found his feet here in the NBL. That one doesn't go. And he is a massive positive for Southeast Melbourne for the evening. Timeout coming by the Sydney Kings. One last roll of the dice from Brian Goorjian. His team down 13 with 2:56 remaining in the Tangerine timeout.
You know, the lack of rhythm and cohesion and ball movement, even early when Sydney were in the lead, we were kind of alluding to the fact that a lot of ISO play, a lot of individual brilliance from Kendrick Davis got them that lead. And look at Southeast Melbourne's next 5. A Brisbane team that's going to be difficult at home, Drew.
Yeah, after an emotional win, 22-point on the road comeback win, and Casey Prather in MVP-type form. Wildcats seemingly getting their act together.
Played angry last night.
And they're going to get better.
Tassie away, we know what that's like.
They'll be at the Silver Dome for that one. That's in Launceston. Tassie's home away from home. And then a throwdown against Melbourne. I would think that will be in the back of Southeast Melbourne's mind that they were smashed when the two teams played earlier in the season in the throwdown. They will be just marking that one down.
For sure.
For a bit of redemption.
Well, after 6 games, they are well positioned and far better positioned than I had anticipated, Andrew, when we started the season, and especially after that Pelicans game where they just looked very flat.
They've scratched their way through a difficult phase of the season, and good things are happening for them. And Foxwell and Sobey have just been really impressive to start the season. Yeah, Hunter's been great and they've got some contributors, but it's just been watching the growth of Foxwell over the past 3 or 4 seasons. He has become legitimate and a real threat in this league.
Started as a DP here in the NBL. Just a small kid from Bulleen looking for a chance, and look how far he's come. Sobey! That's a 30-piece.
Hits him with a change of direction, left to right. Another turnover by the Kings. Sobey elevates, knocked down the 3. That's 30.
He's still hunting. He'd love nothing better than be the one to send the Kings on their way.
Well, we mentioned his improved shooting, his improved offensive efficiency, 12 of 20, 6 of 11 from the 3.
Coming into tonight, he'd won 1 of his last 10 games against the Sydney Kings, Nathan Sobey. He obviously just got sick of losing to them.
No, it's when he gets in this frame of mind, and a lot of players in this league, when we saw it from Glover in the last game, when you start to feel it and you just the game comes to you, it's the most beautiful feeling in the sport, and right now that's what he is going through.
Certainly tried his hardest, Kendrick Davis. 31 points for the night. Qual will also head to the showers a little early. That's 5 fouls.
Not an uncommon sight for Bull Qual with the fouls.
And Sydney have just been torn apart on the perimeter. Sobey, Maldonado, and Foxwell combined for 67 points.
That will be the end of Geordie Hunter as well. For a cheap one.
It looked like they got him for a little backhand slap or something to...
Have a look down low. They got the mismatch. Oh, my goodness.
Starting to run out of bodies here.
Not sure that's a foul.
Whitenoy always trying to find a way to put the ball on the bottom of the net. 109-95. And some steady hands from the Phoenix can just steer the ship into the port and record their 4th win of the season. In saying that, Sobey gives it straight back to Malawat. turnover doesn't hurt them in the end.
I can't remember the last time a team only took 16 three-point field goal attempts.
Well, especially in the fourth quarter when you've been down double digits and you haven't taken a three in over 5.5 minutes, I believe it is, Andrew. And that probably points also to their lack of confidence in their ability to shoot the basketball.
Well, it's a really interesting thing for them now, Drew, isn't it? Sorry to cut you off there, but 29% for the season from deep. Xavier Cooks has clearly got the yips from the free throw line.
Yeah.
He's almost doing anything he can to not shoot a free throw right now.
Yeah.
There's some mental challenges there.
It is, but with that issue of shooting the three ball, it's you're not going to go to it a lot because of the personnel you have, but there are certain times when, hey, we need a three ball. Galloway, he can shoot it. You know, Kwatnoy can shoot it. What action, what play are we going to go to at least give them that look? Now, I'm sure they've got it in their repertoire, but when you're trying to pound it in the paint as much as they possibly can, it's just about trying to find balance. So, yeah, they're going to lose this game, but Brian Goorjian is one of the smartest coaches in the business. And this is a learning, he learns a little bit more about it. And with more games this season, there is a little bit more margin for error. So it's not, certainly not the end of the world for the Sydney Kings.
It isn't. Kwatnoy goes to the bucket, but I think the expectations were high after the road victory in Adelaide. Now they've backed up a bad loss in Tassie with this one here.
Home fans stand as one. This is some sort of record that the Phoenix are building in this venue. 14 of their last 15 home games coming into tonight are wins, and you can add another one.
You know, Andrew, give Josh King credit. He gets this team to play.
Yeah.
They go.
Oh, no doubt about that.
4-2 for the season. Off the back of a 30-piece from Nathan Sobey. The Phoenix are firing on all cylinders. And they get the job done over the Sydney Kings. 112-95, the final score. This Southeast Melbourne team is one to watch.
An outstanding second half by the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, and they run over the Sydney Kings to take this game by 17. Very good defensive performance in the second half, Drew.
Yeah, and they had their moments, and down midway through the third, they have a run to end of the third, built their buffer, and then they just extended that and smothered the Sydney Kings, took away the actions that the Sydney can go to, and they were able to make some good plays on the offensive end, and most importantly, finishing. Sometimes you have good plays, you just don't put the ball in the hole, but they were really efficient at 52% and a whopping 48% from threes.
26 assists and only 5 turnovers to go with 4 steals. That's their best win of the season.
And we've got the Foot Locker player of the game, Nathan Sobey, alongside Kels.
We do. So 33 points for you. I said as soon as you walked in and got the ball in your hand, you looked like you're in some kind of form. How did that one feel for you?
Sorry, madam. Right now. Yeah, I mean, made the first couple, felt good. Was able to get a little bit of rhythm after that, and the boys did a great job of keeping finding me.
We know that coming into this game, the game against the Sydney Kings, whoever pushed away in this one was going to really put themselves as contenders. Is that how this game felt for you guys as well?
I mean, I don't know. We're just about the game right now, and now we'll push on to Brisbane, but they're a great team. They're going to find their way. They always do. They've got a bunch of good players, so for us to come away with the win at home is big for us.
You seem to be living and dying by the 3-ball. Is that the plan?
I mean, we want to make them, but we're going to put heat on the rim as well. But I think we're going to find that balance. But while guys are making shots, we've got to keep finding them.
And lastly, I've got to ask about the emotion of this game. It was quite physical. How was that last run in with Kendrick?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just the game. People, competitors, want to get after it, want to win, and that's what we love while we're playing. So, I mean, no hard feelings or anything. It's part of the game.
We absolutely love what you and Phoenix are doing. Congratulations on this one.
Thank you. Cheers.
Great performance by Nathan Sobey tonight. 33 points on 12 of 20 from the field. The Phoenix are 4-2 to start the season. We're going to come back and wrap it up on the other side of this. It's Thursday Night Hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL. It was intense from the opening tip, but it's the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix who come away successful tonight. 112-95 the final score. Nathan Sobey with 33 points. This was some sort of contest.
It was, and they got great contributions in winning that game. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, they shot it extremely well from the three-point line. They got the Kings on the glass, and they did a great job of sharing the basketball. Nathan Sobey with 5 assists, Owen Foxwell with 17 points and 8 assists, Drew.
112 points is just too many, and yeah, you're going to have more points when you've got more exchanges of the ball, but their defense was poor, and at times their offense just looks a little clunky now, and it's a little too random, and they're not knowing where the shots are going to come from.
Very much a work in progress, the Sydney Kings. Here's the ladder as it stands right now, with thanks to Mitsubishi Motors. Puts the Phoenix up to third all of a sudden. We shouldn't forget that Sunday afternoon, Melbourne United, undefeated at this stage, they will play the Cairns Taipans tomorrow night, take on the Adelaide 36ers here at John Cain Arena. Big one.
Cannot wait. Yeah. The great Bryce Cotton comes into play. What may be an undefeated United, the blockbuster game of the season thus far.
That is going to see us out tonight from John Cain Arena. On behalf of Drewy, on behalf of Ruck, Kelsey, and all of our team behind the scenes, thanks so much for being with us tonight. It was a Thursday night that we are going to remember for some time. We'll catch you tomorrow for the Taipans and United here in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.